Congressman John Garamendi represents some of California's capital city area. He is a longtime supporter of Hillary Clinton and says Tuesday's race may be tight, but Clinton will walk away with more than half of the delegates. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us today. We very much appreciate it. I know you have a lot on your plate there on the West Coast. But first and foremost, before we talk about Tuesday, I do want to get your reaction from Hillary Clinton's foreign policy speech. And I want to get your response to criticism that she focused way too much on Donald Trump and not necessarily about a Clinton plan. And I went to the transcript. She did mention Donald Trump by name almost 30 times during that speech. So what is your response to that?
Well, first of all, it was a very, very effective speech. She did exactly what a candidate needs to do early on in an election, and that is draw a distinction between yourself and your opponent. She did that spectacularly and clearly pointed out all of the contradictions in policy as well as in consistency that Donald Trump has made over just the last 9 months. Statements about nuclear weapons for Saudi Arabia and beyond. All of those things were very, very effectively done. As to her own foreign policy, she's laid that out very clearly in the earlier speeches that she's given throughout the campaign, and certainly during her time as a senator and as a Secretary of State. So she has a very solid foreign policy agenda, one of a strong America, one of using our military wisely, being strong but smart with our military, and also recognizing that you cannot go it alone. You have to be working with our allies around the world. So I would give her an A+ for that speech and what she needed to do as a candidate early on in an election process.
Okay, and you talked a little bit about drawing a distinction, and at that point you were referencing Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. But in the past she has made reference to the decisions made in the Obama administrations, her decisions as Secretary of State, but a couple instances she had mentioned successes. And if you look at perhaps people would argue wars have been lost in Iraq, Libya, Syria, and of course Afghanistan, although some would argue that would be a different administration. When she brings up those instances and touts them as success, is that dangerous? Because is that what people are angry about as they head to the polls during this general election?
Well, I think there's many, many things that Americans are concerned about. Certainly the issues of the Middle East, the issues of radical Islam, those are things that are of great concern. Terrorism, all of those concern all of us. And what we need to do is to address them in a very thoughtful and a very consistent and strong manner over what is going to be a very lengthy period of time. But also the American public is concerned about the economy. Hillary has laid out a very clear economic message. It's been on the books and has been repeated by her and her team for more than 8 months now. And a message of a strong educational system, right, building our infrastructure, rebuilding the American manufacturing sector.
Congressman, if I may interrupt you, though,
play very well.
Sure. Is that message resonating? I mean, we look at some of the polls that are popping up in California, and within the margin of error, there's a chance that she may not win California, your home state. What if she doesn't?
Well, whether she does or not, she will win the nomination. California, those 450+ delegates will be proportional. Even if Bernie were to win by 5 percentage points, which he will not, it means that she'd still get over 230 pledged delegates, together with what comes of the other elections that are going on Tuesday. She'll be very, very close, if not over the top, on pledged delegates. And then you add to that the superdelegates, and I don't see the superdelegates shifting. You got to remember that across the nation and all of the elections, Hillary will have more than 3 million more votes than Bernie Sanders. So I don't think we're going to see a shift there.
Well, Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. I wish we had more time, and we are grateful that you came on our air ahead of a very busy Tuesday. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.